Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good evening, folks, and thank you for tuning in with me once again to another spontaneous edition of True Conservative Radio. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and I want to thank you for tuning in with me. It is 11 p.m. here in the Texas time zone, and if you happen to be tuning in with me, that means that you are catching a late-night edition of True Conservative Radio. I know that I've been a little bit more habitual with the show because I think that the message that's trying to get across on this program is very important. And henceforth, that's why I'm having more frequent programs on here, because I believe that we're at a very critical point in American history. And I think that we need to have as many conservative voices as possible, be as vocal as possible, and spreading a message on continuing the concept of the family, continuing the concept of some sort of moral integrity, so on and so forth. So that's why, folks, I am on here once again. It's a late-night edition of True Conservative Radio. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in with me. One of the reasons, folks, I had this spontaneous edition, it is 11 p.m. here in Texas, is because of something that really, really pissed me off, for a lack of a better term, folks, and I'm sorry. We are in the late night hours, so maybe you'll hear me slip up with a couple of curse words every now and then, but it's only to emphasize a point. I have a poll on the ipolitic.net/ghost website that I have there. I blog from there and that sort of thing. And I have a poll on there, okay? And I announced it in the last show. If you happen to have been listening, I announced that there's a poll asking whether or not you are for or against feminism, okay? And as of yesterday, or the last time I had a show, I believe it was yesterday I had a show. I'm not really too sure. I've been having them so frequently. But as of the last show, when I announced this poll that is on the website there, all of a sudden I had a bombardment of votes, all right? I mean, the night, or should I say before I announced that poll on this program, it was 100% against feminism, folks. And there were only 3 votes. You can't vote twice. It can only be 1 vote per IP address. That's how sophisticated this little voting system is. And then I announced it here on True Conservative Radio. And you know what happened after that? We now have a 19-3 for feminism, all right? That means 19 people, since the time I broadcasted this poll on this program, 19 people have taken it upon themselves to vote on the ipolitic.net/ghost poll, and they are voting for feminism, folks. And, of course, the same 3 people that voted against it are still there. We just don't have any additions to it. And that's a damn shame. That's a damn shame, and I just don't understand what has happened here in America when it comes down to the point where you've got such an overwhelming response when it comes to this ridiculous notion of feminism out here. That's why I attempt to facilitate discourse about that subject matter, because it is not legitimate, folks. All right, let me tell you something. The suffrage movement at the turn of the 20th century was a true movement. It was a movement that enabled the woman the right to vote, the right to work, and those women were true patriots, okay? Well, we're beyond this at this point, folks. This is what I'm telling you. All right? We're living in a day and age where everybody's pretty much equal. If you have the skills to pay the bills in America, you're going to advance no matter what, folks. No matter if you're black, if you're a woman, if you're purple, if you got an elephant man head, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get paid. And that's the point, folks. And this is what upsets me so much about this damn feminism crap. Because everybody and their brother, obviously, according to the damn poll that I have on my website out there, everybody and their brother is bowing down to this ridiculous notion of feminism. And it goes to show you that. I mean, before I announced the damn poll on this program, it was 100% against feminism there on the ipolitic.net/ghost poll that I got there. It was 100%. There was 3 votes against feminism, 0 for it. I broadcasted here on this program, folks. 19 people since then have voted for feminism. And what exactly are they voting for? And like I said here previous, I think the suffrage movement at the turn of the 20th century was a legitimate movement, folks. I mean, those women were true patriots. But at this point in time, feminism is being utilized by these left-wing, long-haired, liberal, bedwetting hippies that are out here hijacking America, hijacking the conscience of the people, utilizing such ridiculous notions like political correctness, feminism, and every other separatist concept they can concoct out of their damn propaganda-filled heads out here to try to induce people into believing that liberalism is the only option for social order here in America. And let me tell you something, folks. They have accomplished that a great deal, and that's why I come up on this program, because I want to highlight the fact that it is working. All right? I mean, this liberal infestation, all right, due to the propaganda, due to the gatekeepers that actually run the companies that create these new alternate perceptions, that create these new alternate definitions to what old words used to mean. This is what I come up on here to do, folks, because I'm a conservative, damn it. I'm a true conservative. I'm not out here like most of these damn Republicans, because let me tell you something, the Republican Party has been hijacked by liberals. I'm not like these people that are out here putting an R in front of their name, out here claiming they're conservative, claiming they're this, claiming they're that, when they're going against the very principles, the very foundation of what conservatism actually is. And that's why I come up on here, folks. I know sometimes I get a little hot-headed. Sometimes I feel like I'm going to start breaking things. As a matter of fact, I've actually broken a few things on the air because I get so frustrated that most of the people here in America have fallen asleep at the wheel. And what do I mean by that, folks? It simply means this. This country was built for the people, by the people, but the people right now are too busy buying $5,000 plasma screen TVs, putting themselves into debt, crying like neurotic buffooneries out here, like spoiled children. They're more worried about their economic situation than maintaining the unalienable rights that were given to us by our forefathers. And that's what I'm talking about, folks. This is what I emphasize on this program, and this is why I say to everyone out there who's a true conservative, all right, screw Democrat, screw Republican, if you are a true conservative, what you need to do is you need to go out. I put a blog about this today on my blog on ipolitic.net/ghost. Go out and try to meet as many conservatives out there in your community. Try to organize yourselves in your local community so that you can be a force at the ballot box, so you can influence legislation on the city level, on the state level. I mean, we need to put conservative politicians back in the positions of power out here, because we're electing these morons, folks. We're electing these power-hungry autocrats that we're sending to Washington out here that are selling us out like a bunch of idiots. And what are we doing, folks? We're just sitting there taking it. We're just taking it up the tailpipe and just enjoying it. It's ridiculous, folks. And let me tell you, I get so frustrated. I get so flabbergasted. It makes me want to puke up. I want to puke up the ham and cheese sandwich that I just had about 2 hours ago, just attempting to talk about these subject matters out here. Because America has fallen asleep at the wheel, folks, and that's why I'm saying, you got these liberals that have hijacked both parties. You got liberals, obviously, on the left-wing Democratic side. They're always going to be left. They're blatant Marxist. I bet you most of the liberals right now are worshiping a picture of Karl Marx right now. Right now, that's what they're doing. I wouldn't put it past them. All right? But now you got the Republican Party. All right? You got the Republican Party that has been hijacked by the liberal establishment out here. They anointed this piece of liberal trash, John Turncoat McCain, and they're trying to shove him down the conservatives' throat. But let me tell you something, folks. The true conservatives can see right through this crap. All right? We can see right through this crap. We're not going to sit over here and palate some liberal being shoved down our hole and just expect it to be okay. It's not okay, folks. It's not okay, and that's why I come up on here, and you should do your part too. If you're a true conservative, you should do your part too. Everyone should do their part. We should be all over the internet out here, posting conservative viewpoints, conservative principles out here. We need to be posting it all over the internet. We need to be doing whatever it takes to try to spread the message out here, to try to promote the family, to try to promote moral integrity out here, to try to promote the fact that our children are being exposed to violence and sexual depravity out here. And I think that everybody out here who's a real conservative, a true conservative, not one of these ass clowns that are out here putting a conservative in front of your name because, you know, nowadays it's chic to be a conservative because the damn liberals have hijacked the damn Republican Party. I'm talking about true conservatives that have moral integrity, that live life by a certain moral ethos out there. We need to come together, and we need to be a force, and we need to make sure that politicians that are in the United States government are abiding by conservative principles. And I'm putting out a series blog about this. If you want to get my take on it, if you need help on how to organize in your particular neck of the woods and how to get together with other conservatives in your area, I'm telling you, go to ipolitic.net/ghost and bookmark that website there and keep up to date with the blogs, because let me tell you, this is serious. All right? I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of liberal ass clowns that are listening to me right now saying, oh, you know what, this old man has fallen off his rocker. Let me tell you something, folks. This is serious as a damn heart attack. That's why, even though this show gives me high blood pressure, I continue to come up on here and attempt to facilitate discourse on subject matters that nobody is talking about, especially this mainstream liberal media hellhole that is supposed to be our source of information and news out here. Anyway, folks, I want to hear from you. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. We want to hear from you. I think I've got a caller here. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, Ghost.
Hey, who is this?
This is Moving Forward, Ghost. Can you hear me?
How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for being out there, being a conservative, throwing it out there. The reason I'm calling in tonight is I was listening to a conservative show on BTR the other night, and I said, I retired First Sergeant, U.S. Army, and said, hey, if I ever got called back to active duty and I had a gay commander, I said I wouldn't serve. I just wouldn't do it. I just wasn't going to go there.
Of course.
And this Maryland conservative said, oh, well, you're in violation of your orders and blah, blah, blah. And he told me to shut up. And you know what I said? Yeah, okay, I'll just hang up. And I did. And,
and this was a conservative talk show or a conservative person that you were confronting?
That's right. It was Maryland conservative. He supports gay commanders in the military like Barack Obama. And Jenna in the Jungle, got all upset because she had a friend who served in the military. And I guess, she was gay and whatever.
Well, don't even get me started on Jenna the Jungle. Or you know what? I can't even name names of people on Blog Talk Radio Network anymore, because they'll take me off the air. I've already been banned from MySpace because I'm not a damn bedwetting, long-haired liberal hippie. I've been taken off the air because I've been critical about some of these jerk nuts that are out here claiming they're conservatives when they're out here blatantly just spreading liberal propaganda under the disguise of conservatism.
Well, Ghost, that's my big issue. I'm a conservative. I retired from the Army. I served my country for a long time, done lots of stuff, no less than any other guy who did the same for my time in the service.
Well, we appreciate, at least I appreciate your time in the service, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Ghost. But I guess my point is that, I've got nieces, nephews, kids. I don't want them serving in a service that supports, these values of homosexuality. They don't understand the camaraderie of what it takes to serve in the military, what it takes to serve country. They're throwing a few poster childs out there, oh yeah, this person was gay and they served, but they don't really understand what it means to be a commander. They don't understand what it means to be a senior non-com. They don't understand the importance of these things. And I'm not going to yell about it. I'm not going to get angry. I'm just going to say that I appreciate people who, hold the line there. They just hold the line, like yourself and others who hold the line and say, look, hey, this is not what America's about. This is not why we were founded. You're throwing it in our face. And if you let me talk for just a little bit, there's a majority out there who are raised with values, and it doesn't even matter their religion. It matters their values, right?
Absolutely.
And we're being asked to send our kids to serve under people with that, lesser values. And I'm not going to send my kid or my nephews or my nieces or be asked to support any family member or myself, even back on active duty. Which if there's a gay commander in chief, my God, or some general who's gay, I'm not going to support them. And I've been called a bigot, and my I've got family members of different religions and creeds and everything, and I've been called a bigot because I just don't believe that I can send the next generation out there under people with no values. People. Well,
you know what, sir? Let me tell you, that is a true conservative principle right there, sir. And let me tell you, you shouldn't be ashamed to say it.
I'm not ashamed, and that's why I'm calling you tonight, and that's why I'm still here on BTR, because I'm a listener. I categorically disagree with this guy, Maryland conservative, who I think is, a liberal in sheep's clothes.
Well, there's many of them on here, sir.
Conservative show, and I disagree with Jen of the Jungle because she just, she is from California and has different views. And but I gotta tell you that, what if we're going to preserve what we've got in America. We just can't send our kids out. They always brief statistics, and I love to take people on the statistics because is there more conservatives out there who don't want their kids in harm's way under command of people who just don't have the moral fiber to make it work? It's definitely a moral majority of people who believe in their piece of the pie in America.
And what's unfortunate, sir, is that we have a deliberate attempt by liberals that have not only hijacked, apparatuses of our government, public institutions, and are even higher echelons of corporate America, but we've got the public education system. We got everybody anesthetizing people with these liberal values. They're even trying to redefine the words on how we interpret reality. They're even trying to redefine what is moral. I mean, I don't know if you're too familiar with today, sir. I mean, I speak a lot for the American family. I feel that the family is under attack. You now have...
the same way. You got it.
And I just don't understand why. Is it just me? Am I outdated? I don't want to believe that. Because the liberals, what they try to tell me whenever they call up or even have a pair to call up to, they call me up and they try to attempt to debate that this is social evolution that's happening out here. That single parents, now that the single parents are the majority of America, that's somehow social evolution. And these people actually believe this crap.
You're talking to a single parent. You're talking to, a guy raising his kid. And I'll tell you what.
Now, it wasn't under unfortunate circumstances, was it, sir?
Yeah, it was. It was unfortunate, and I guess if I was going to categorize myself, I'd say I was a victim of liberal America.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, sir, you don't even have to say anything else. I've had people call up. You can look back in the archive that have said the same thing. The feminist movement and woman liberation. I mean, that's all I'm going to say. Am I going on the same around the same path?
I guess you know what. My inspiration for calling in was to simply say that we need a little bit of conservative values, injected back into the American system. And the reason I tuned in tonight was in the hopes that I'd hear a little bit of that. I did. I heard a lot of it, and I'm glad you're hosting the show. And
well, I appreciate you listening, sir.
Yeah, so I'm going to hang up, and I'm hoping General Rachel calls in. I'm hoping that Sir Malachi calls in. No Compromise calls in.
No Compromise is a great listener. I mean,
yeah, I hope all those.
She's an unbelievable conservative. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I hope all those folks call in and maybe give me a little bit of the juice I'm looking for. That I got from listening to this show tonight. So.
Well, I appreciate that, sir, and I hope you keep listening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, and thank you once again for your service, sir. It's not unjust. Anyway, I'd like to thank that person for calling in. Once again, if you'd like to call in, by all means, 646-652-4869. It breaks my heart because that sounds like a true conservative feller there, I mean, you can tell that he feels what he means, or what he says. He says what he means. And what's unfortunate, and I don't even want to get into the situation about that man's personal life, but I guarantee that it has something to do with this whole liberal-minded establishment that has become accepted amongst the general norm of America, the feminist movement. These liberal ideas. And let me tell you, folks, if you want to do research on this, I've said this over and over and over again, you should read about Frankfurt University. All right? That was a Marxist little organization out there that actually concocted some sort of legitimate school of thought out here, and those professors that started that damn university wrote about all this crap in the 1920s, for Christ's sake. They wrote about all this crap. They redefined the methods of agitation back then, folks, and I don't even want to get into it, folks. It'll blow your mind, but it's real. It's happening. Read for yourself. That's why I don't ever tell anybody to believe me. Take my word for it. Do your own research, folks. That's the only way you're going to expand your mind out here. That's the only way anyone's going to have any kind of intellectual curiosity is read for yourself, folks, and this is a deliberate attempt by the liberals. And it's frightening to me. It's frightening to me. I mean, just go into my ipolitic.net/ghost poll, are you for or against feminism? I mean, just take a look at that poll. That should go to show you it's getting a little scary. It's getting a little damn scary. Anyway, folks, we're going to go ahead and take another call. No Compromise, I believe, is on the line. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming in kind of loud there.
I am. I'll back off.
Hello.
Now? Nope. I'm going to call you on the phone.
Hello. I don't think we can hear you. No Compromise. Hold on. Sorry about that, folks. If you happen to have the speakers on low and you hear some really loud popping or anything of that nature, I'm really sorry. I'm sure No Compromise will call back and I'm sure she's just testing out the click-to-talk button just like everybody else has been, and it hasn't been very successful for folks. So anyway, we want to hear from you once again, 646-652-4869. We're talking about conservative principles. We're talking about how the conservative movement is going to overtake this liberal infestation that has asserted itself here in America. And we're going to go ahead and go to the phones again. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, it's Tracy.
Hi, No Compromise. How's it going?
Well, I keep trying to use that click-to-talk button, but it never works for me.
I don't think it's worked for anybody. I've been on the Blog Talk Radio Network. I've listened to a few shows. I don't think it works for too many people.
Well,
so don't feel bad.
Okay, good. I wanted to just say that I'm glad that you're talking about, how everything is being redefined, because that's my gig, and I always try to explain to people about what postmodernism is, and it's just so critically important to really understand postmodernism, because that's that what is going on in this country thing that we haven't really been able to put our finger on. That's what it's called. And so when I finally discovered, well, this is what it is, now I'm just telling everybody. But what I wanted to introduce to you was another term, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead. Believe me, we appreciate this. I'm sure everybody who's not well acquainted with the changing of the language here, or the liberalization of the language, would appreciate it as well.
Well, I'm now learning what's called Hegelian dialectical thinking, and basically that's kind of where the whole postmodern thing is, the whole redefining of language. Good means evil, and evil means good nowadays. And so there's two kinds of thinking. There's what's called didactic thinking, which is reasoning with logic and rhetoric, okay? You have to have kind of a philosophical background to exercise didactic thinking. And then there's Hegelian dialectical thinking, which is, and I'm not too educated in this yet, I'm just learning about it, but it's basically a person who is taught what to think rather than how to think. And so I guess the best way to maybe learn about this stuff is, I read a book called The Universe Next Door, so write it down, The Universe Next Door, by James Sire, S-I-R-E. And he goes into a lot of this postmodernism stuff. But if you even want to go further than just, the postmodern, you really need to understand the Hegelian dialectical thinking. It's a really dangerous teaching, and it's basically in our school system. That's why when these kids graduate these days, they haven't learned anything, okay? They've only learned like how to take a test. Like in our
obviously.
Like in our state, we have this thing called WASL. It's some kind of it's not a standardized test. It's just this weird kind of emotional testing, like a psychological testing that these kids in 10th grade, 7th grade, and I believe their senior year, they have to take this WASL test. Well, all during the year, the teachers are teaching them how to take this test, opposed to teaching these kids about geography or algebra or logic skills or, home economics or, some of these basic things that we usually learned when we were going to school many years ago. Now they're learning these emotional, how do you feel about this kind of stuff? So, I'm just learning about this like you are, and I just want to introduce this term, Hegelian dialectical thinking. I'm going to try to get a speaker on my show who's going to discuss the two kinds. So I'll let you know when that happens. But,
yeah, let us know. Keep us up to date with that, because that would be a very interesting topic to discuss, and a very interesting person to ask questions about this Hegelian dialectics.
I think it's really important that, conservatives like you and me and the people in the chat room, we have been looking into our world and saying, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Well, when you have somebody redefining marriage, when you have them redefining what a boy is and what a girl is and what marriage is and all these things, it's no wonder that we're not crazier than we already are.
I agree.
Really is no wonder. So if we can arm ourselves with the proper language and really understand these terms, so when we are attacked, we can attack back, I think.
Certainly.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Maybe
well, I just think that we need to have a better understanding of what in the blue hell is happening around us. Most people think that this is somehow, the normal way of things, that this is just progress. They're equating the destruction of the family as liberation. This is what's unfortunate about the modern day state of things, and nobody seems to be talking about these important subject matters. That's why I come up on here. I know that occasionally I tend to be a little repetitive, but that's exactly what the liberals have done to get their agenda across, to get their agenda soaked in the minds of the masses of America out here. So I feel that us as conservatives, we should do the same damn thing, but promote the family, promote shielding our children from all this violence on primetime television, this sexual deviant activity. We need to emphasize critical thinking in our educational system. So on and so forth. There's a lot of things that conservatives have as firepower to help kind of tip the scale of liberalism versus true conservatism.
You want to know something?
What's that?
I went to a fairly prominent university on the East Coast, a Christian university, and the person that's the founder, and I'm not going to say the name, but maybe I should, but I went to this university, and one of the first classes that I took in there was Communications 200 or something like that. Anyways,
yeah.
The teacher was teaching this concept, okay? Now, I'm going to say it. You tell me what you think, okay?
All right.
Words don't mean, people do.
Words don't mean, people do.
Yeah. How's that? Your gut reaction, what does that make you, what does that do to you? Words don't mean, people do.
Well, it seems to be a little false, so to speak, because, words mean a lot, and the historical record shows that. Just look at what a couple of books did for communism.
That's exactly right. Words do mean something, and people mean something too. And this was a Christian teacher with a PhD at a Christian college that has the top law school in the nation. Okay? And they're teaching people mean, words don't. And I ended up dropping out of this class, filing a complaint, getting my money back, because for them to sit there and say, words don't mean, I said, okay, so do the engineers who create the plane, who make the plane, do those people, do their words not mean anything? I want to make sure that people's words mean something when they're communicating on how to build a bridge. You know what I'm saying? But
absolutely.
This is what's being taught in our universities, and these people are going into law schools, and then you wonder why we have the Nimrods sitting on the court doing what they're doing, because they're making law, and they're not supposed to make law, but even whatever comes out of their mouth is based on emotion or something else, and that's why, because these professors are teaching Hegelian dialectical thinking in the universities, and we graduate these people, they go into these professions, and then the whole world falls apart. It's nuts. So it's really important to understand this Hegelian dialectical thinking. So anyways, I'm not going to take up much more of your time. I just want to introduce that to you.
Absolutely. And let everybody know where they can find you.
I'll put it in the chat room, and
okay.
I'll put the blog in there too. But anyways, thank you. Keep it up, and I will just listen on.
All right. Thank you very much, Tracy. We always appreciate your insight.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. And, you know, it is the truth, folks. I mean, we have a new definition of words, so to speak. I mean, things have been redefined. I mean, the marriage has been redefined. They're continuing to redefine marriage. They're continuing to redefine the family unit, folks. And this is why I urge everyone to take a look at children's programming at any of the children networks and take a look at the shows and their emphasis on single-parent families as it being the norm. Multiple different children from multiple different partners, the norm. I mean, we have no moral integrity out here being promoted as the right thing to do. Haven't you noticed that, folks? That the family, the emphasis on the family, emphasis on goodness, it's just not emphasized out here. You sit in front of the boob tube at 7 p.m. during primetime television on a regular network affiliate out there, you're going to see nothing but sexual filth and violence pumped into your living room on a consistent basis. And what's unfortunate, folks, is that you've got a lot of people out here, a lot of people trying to keep up with the Joneses. They're out here buying $200,000-$300,000 homes, $50,000 cars, $5,000 plasma screen TVs, so they got to get 2 or 3 jobs apiece just to keep up with the Joneses out here. And where does that leave the children? Where are the children being raised? Well, they're being dumped off on a boob tube or in front of a violent video game or in front of some foul-mouthed violent rap music video or something of that nature, folks. They are growing up being influenced by technology, by media, and who's controlling what's coming out? Who's controlling what's coming into the television set? I mean, think about this critically, folks, okay? Everyone is, just think about this. I want you all to just stop what you're thinking, okay? Even if you hate me, if you think I'm a conservative lunatic, I don't care. I want you to sit down, take a couple of breaths, and I want you to come inside to what I'm saying here. And once I say this, maybe some of you people that don't agree with me will start understanding what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, folks, everyone out there knows about Tupac Shakur. You know who Tupac Shakur is? Well, Tupac Shakur was the supposed infamous rapper that got gunned down in Las Vegas and went down in rap infamy, right? Well, I'd like for you to do this. This is an exercise for you. Go up to some children that would probably know who in the blue hell Tupac is and ask them, Tupac's death. What do you think about Tupac? And you know what they're going to tell you? They're going to tell you everything that was told to them through music television because they never met Tupac. All right? They've never seen this man at concert. They are taking what in the blue hell was pumped into their faces, pumped into their heads by music television, folks. And this is what I'm talking about. This is an alternate perception, an alternate reality, folks, and people need to understand that this is finally affecting our society, for Christ's sake. And this is why I get so angry. This is why I get so worked up. This is why I scream and I just talk out of anger and fury. Because everybody out there think it's peachy keen. Just as long as they're able to continue to fulfill their materialistic need, everything is peachy keen. And it isn't, folks. It isn't. You know it, I know it, and anybody with any kind of moral integrity knows it too. And it's unfortunate that none of the true conservatives out there can come together. I mean, we're bickering amongst each other, and you see, that's a deliberate attempt by the liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party. That's what they want us to do. They want the conservatives to be split. All right? They want the conservatives to go against one another. That's why they have these clandestine closet liberals trying to pass themselves off as conservatives out here, but they're pumping out liberal propaganda. I mean, listen to the gentleman that called up earlier. He said he was listening to a conservative show. He said he was listening to a conservative show, and they were talking about gays in the military and how gays should expose themselves as gays in the military and everything should be all right, peachy keen, fine and dandy. And because this gentleman decided that he wanted to assert his constitutionally protected right to assert his persuasion on the program out there, and this is a common liberal tactic, folks. They ganged up on the poor gentleman. They ganged up on him and said, "Oh, you're a damn bigot. You're this, you're that." I mean, this is what I'm talking about, folks. Political correctness is being utilized as a tool of agitation by the liberals and the feminists that have hijacked America, and people need to understand this. All right, I know everybody wants to live in this damn la-la land like everything's all peachy keen. It's not, damn it. Take your heads out of your clogged up colon funnels and start understanding what in the hell is happening right here in America. Because America is not America anymore, folks. I mean, we are on a slippery slope down some sort of quasi-communist, quasi-socialist path out here. I mean, what in the blue hell would you ever think of seeing a damn, what do they call it, a stimulus package? I mean, what in the hell would you ever think that you'd ever see a damn stimulus package, the damn government giving the people money to go out and spend just to somehow pump some life into the economy? It's ridiculous, folks. That's not freedom. And let me tell you, we have a liberal establishment in the media, in the education system, in our government systems. These liberal agendas are being implemented. They're trying to break up the American family. Why do they want to make everybody a single parent? Because it makes them more dependent on the government. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. Haven't you noticed that it seems chic to take a damn government subsidy out here? That's liberal agenda, folks. That's liberal propaganda. And you people need to understand it. Stop trying to deny it. Stop trying to make excuses for it. It's a blatant liberal, a blatant feminist attempt at hijacking America, and they're doing a damn good job of it. And what is America doing? What are the American people doing? They're just sitting there playing with their pecker shafts. That's what they're doing. They're not doing anything to try to benefit this country, try to help this government. Screw the government, trying to help the American people. And that's what makes me sick. That's what makes me sick to my stomach, folks. That's why I come up on the internet. That's why I try to do whatever it takes from now on. And let me tell you, to me, my time on this earth is almost over, okay? And what I mean by that is that I've lived a long life already, folks, okay? And why should I give two rat's asses about the people that are coming up behind me? Because my family is going to come up behind me, folks, and that's what you should be thinking too. We need to start thinking about all these things. We have an economy in shambles. We've got a deficit that is jeopardizing the integrity of the American currency. We're in two wars that are draining the damn United States Treasury down the toilet, and yet gas prices seem to go up, doesn't it? We're in the second largest oil deposit in the damn world out here, and yet gas prices seem to go up, don't they? This is what I'm talking about, folks. I wasn't against the war. I wasn't against the war in Iraq. I wasn't against the war in Afghanistan. This is definitely a war against ideology, but let me tell you something, folks. I don't know about you, but I don't understand why the Iraqi people or the Iraqi parliament or whatever you want to look at it as, why the United States government aren't forcing this makeshift government to pay us back for the debt we incurred for liberating their asses. I mean, in World War II, the Redcoats paid us back. Yeah. All that we did for the Redcoats out there, we didn't do it for free. They paid us back, damn it, with interest. And yet nobody seems to be worried about the hiking gas prices, even though we've got our troops in the second largest oil deposit in the world. Gas prices seem to be going up. I don't understand why we can't, one, take that damn oil and keep it, which is semi-imperialistic, which I can understand why we can't do that. 2, why we don't pressure the damn Iraqi parliament to take some of this damn oil and sell it on the world market and either give us the damn profits to pay back the debt incurred, liberating their ass, or just giving us the damn oil outright and we'll take it off their tab. Anyway, folks, these are just a few things that just irk me. Why the American people aren't talking about this crap. Anyway, folks, I know I'm getting out of hand here. But it doesn't matter, folks. I mean, these are true conservative issues that need to be talked about out here, all right? I'm worried about America. I'm about the American Constitution. I'm about preserving that great document that preserved unalienable rights that were given to everyone in this country. And I advise anybody who's out there listening, you're on the internet right now, go do a search for the United States Constitution, print it out and put it in your damn pocket and memorize it. Anyway, we have a couple of callers here. I've been ranting and raving so long, I'm seeing that the damn phones have lit up. And I appreciate your patronage, folks. By the way, I'd like for you to go out there, if you happen to be a conservative, to take my poll on ipolitic.net/ghost. Unfortunately, when I broadcasted that poll, the last show, I was bombarded by a gangload of feminists on my website, and unfortunately, they voted feminists through the roof. And let me tell you something, folks. You know my views on feminism. All right, I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and bow down to this ridiculous communist agitation method called feminism, folks. And you shouldn't either. You shouldn't either. And before I take these calls, I just wanted to re-emphasize what I was talking about yesterday, okay? I don't know if some of you people that have been listening to me on a consistent basis, I don't know if y'all have checked back in the archives on whether or not it was the April or May show that I, yours truly, did when I announced before the summer even started that summer's coming up. I don't know if it was the May or April show. I said, summer's coming up, and you're going to find a whole bunch of females conveniently leaving their children in their car in 100-degree weather. And, folks, it's the middle of summertime. Hell, it's almost the end of summertime out here. You got one more month for it. And what happened? What's happening out here? You've got women out here conveniently leaving their children in cars, having them roast to death, and are they going to jail? No. No, they're not going to jail, folks. They're not even getting a damn slap on their wrist. They're not even taking the trial. And you see, I wanted to let everybody know the reason I knew that all this was going to happen is not because I'm a damn psychic, because I know the new feminist world we're living in, folks. And let me tell you something. If you have any conservative principle in your body, you will spit on feminism because that's exactly what it belongs. You should spit on it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take a call here. Hello, you're on the air. Hello. 410, you're on the air.
Yeah, I called earlier. Thanks for taking my call again.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, thanks for keeping it going. Thanks for, throwing it out there. General Rachel, I was hoping you would call in, and I see that Political Vindication's in there in the chat room. I think he's from California. Claims to be a conservative. I'm not going to question,
Well, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this is him right here. Let me see. Hello, sir. You're on the air.
Hello?
Who is this?
This is Scott from Miami. How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Scott?
Oh, sorry. I was taking a piss. But what the hell are you so mad about?
Oh, well, hold on. Let me just hang you up right there because, first of all, son, you sound fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops, and you sound like you're from Miami. I wouldn't be surprised if you popped out of the derriere of Ricky Martin's anal passage. I don't even want to get into debating with you. You're just a liberal agitator, and that's all there is to it. So just get off the phone right now.
Yeah. Hey, Ghost.
Yeah.
I would not call you taking a piss. But, if you want to take this call later, if you want to take this call later, that's fine. But I would never call you taking a piss.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about that liberal bedwetter that just.
Yeah. Well, we don't know, but it's late at night. He's a guy. He's young. But if he's a man of respect, he wouldn't call somebody on the phone and taking a piss. That he wouldn't call a man or a woman calling a piss. It's just who would do that? Who would do that? It's just not respectful.
Absolutely not.
So, but anyway, I see that.
You might want to speak up a little bit. Everybody in the chat room seems to not being able to hear you there.
Yeah, this guy, Political Vindication, he's got some good stuff going on, I think, I've heard, but I hope he calls in after I do, and I hope the General Rachel calls in. But you know what? These people claiming to be conservatives that support gay rights, they support gay commanders in the military, hey, forget that. Just forget it, because it's just not going to work. And I'm calling in because it's late night. I'm calling in because it's a difficult subject. I'm calling in because I'm not going to send my nieces and nephews off to war to do that stuff. I'm just not going to do it. And you know what? I'm not going to go back to serve on active duty under a gay commander. They can all go to hell and kiss my butt.
I don't blame you, sir.
And I've never threw words of that ilk out there, but I think your show can handle it. And I called in respectfully and expressed that opinion in kinder words and was told to shut up by Maryland conservative and Jen of the Jungle, who I found out are liberals in a wolf's clothing. And,
well, like I said, I can't really bring up names on this show or on this program anymore.
Yes, sir.
Well, no, I mean, you can. I just hope that they don't blame me. The Blog Talk Radio Network censors.
I called up. I expressed my view as a active duty retired veteran who has served, and neither of them had a position of experience, and felt that because they support an Obama agenda where I have to sit there and listen to what I'm told after serving a whole career in the military. Well, to hell with them.
Absolutely, sir.
With them, and I found Blog Talk Radio to be a good venue. I think the veterans associations that support you guys. I think that Blog Talk Radio Conservative Talk is a great venue, and I think that rather than all this liberal PTSD syndrome stuff, I get much better gratification out of listening to conservative talk radio on the internet than.
Well, that's an interesting discussion that you're posing there. Do you think that the Blog Talk Radio Network is taking a turn for the liberal?
Well, there's a lot of liberal shows out there claiming to be conservative, but I'm also finding me and a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my veteran friends, a lot of people who serve with me, we get a lot of gratification out of Blog Talk Radio. And we get a lot of gratification out of the conservative talk shows. But when we hear these kids who have never served, who have no idea what the military is about, and who buy into these liberal values, that's not helpful. It's just not. And I'm speaking as myself and maybe for my circle of a couple of hundred friends who we stay in touch with. But we're all vets. We're all retired or semi-retired vets. And
certainly, and like I said, we appreciate your service, sir. I mean,
yeah. But anyway, I think you've just got a few minutes left. I hope PV calls in. I hope General Rachel calls in, and I'll acquiesce my time to them.
Certainly. Thank you very much for calling in once again. And, of course, if you want to call in, you can give me a call at 646-652-4869 is the number to call on here. I'm sorry, folks, for the liberal agitator that happened to have called in and obviously been an agitator, but I'm pretty much used to that. You got a bunch of liberal longhairs who hear actual conservative discourse amongst people that actually have conservative principles out here. And what happens? Obviously, instead of actually engaging conservatives in some sort of intellectual debate, because let me tell you something, folks, I'll be more than happy to debate any liberal longhair that wants to call me up, and I'll make them look lower than a leprechaun's nutsack. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I mean, and that's all there is to it. But you see, these liberals, they don't do that. They don't debate. They don't want to provide discourse. All they want to do is agitate. And this is why yours truly right here, yours truly has been banned from MySpace. This is why yours truly has been taken off the air of the Blog Talk Radio Network out here, because people don't want conservative values being amplified in today's liberal America. And that's all there is to it, folks. And for all you liberal longhairs that are disguising your damn self as a conservative, I tell you what you need to do, because you know exactly who you are. Okay? Because let me tell you, I've been up and down this damn Blog Talk Radio Network. I've been up and down the damn blogosphere, and I've seen a lot of these long-haired liberal hippies putting themselves in conservative clothing out here and pumping out nothing but a bunch of damn liberal propaganda, and how they can look at themselves in the damn mirror every morning is beyond me. It's beyond me, because I've been a lifelong conservative, folks, and let me tell you something, I'm not going to deviate from that political persuasion. I'm not going to sit here and go against my own conservative principles just because some damn Republican Party says it's chic to do so. And that's all there is to it, folks. That's all there is to it. That's why I continue to come up on here. I know there's a lot of people out there upset. They're upset at the fact that I'm, yanking their asses out of the authoritarian closet. They're upset that they know, as well as I know, and anybody who's a true conservative knows, that they're not true conservatives. And I'll be damned. I will be damned if people, all right, if people are going to call up on the Blog Talk Radio Network, get on the damn blogosphere. I don't care what venue you're on. But if you're a damn bedwetting, long-haired liberal hippie, and you're out here trying to disguise yourself as a conservative, what you should do, and I've suggested this before, but you need to do it. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and spit in your face. Because you deserve it, and you need to do that from all of us, all of the true conservatives that are out here trying to promote the American family, the world family for that matter. Because that's what conservatism is. We're trying to promote the family. All right? I'm not talking about single-parent families being the majority of the day. Haven't you noticed that the social ills have now become the social norm, and all anybody keeps doing is just embracing it instead of repelling it? Instead of looking at it and saying, you know what, that is not the right thing to do. All right, we shouldn't embrace deviant activity as the right thing to do. But because the feminists and the liberals have hijacked the apparatuses of government, the apparatuses of public education, the apparatuses of media, now we have, lo and behold, the social ills becoming the social norm out here. And you know what's unfortunate about the feminist movement? They actually degrade women. The modern-day feminist movement degrades women. And I've told everybody why. Because like I've said it, and I said it in the beginning of this program, the suffrage movement at the turn of the 20th century was a true movement. Those women right there were patriots. But the modern-day feminist movement is degrading women, folks. I'm telling you, if you're a damn feminist, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and understand that your own movement is deceiving your ass because they're using you as a tool of a method of agitation to implement their Marxist agenda. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. Haven't you noticed that the feminists, they're trying to equate woman liberation with women hopping on from penis to penis to penis? Haven't you noticed they're trying to equate woman liberation with, a woman, dumping off about 6 or 7 kids from 6 or 7 different fathers? That's woman liberation. They're trying to equate woman liberation with having about 5 or 6 different divorces out here, and that's woman liberation. That's deviant activity, folks. There's no liberation in that. There's no liberation in being some sort of a philanderous whorebag. There is no damn freedom in that. So, as a result, because of the fact that we have women liberation equated with such deviant activity, what happens to love? What happens to romance? What happens to true chivalry? Well, it goes and gets flushed down the proverbial liberal toilet. That's what happens. And so what are women going for nowadays? Well, what is the modern-day woman looking to get into as a relationship? What is the first thing the modern-day woman says when they go up to a young man or a young man goes up to them? What's the first thing out of their mouth? Not, hey, are you a serial killer? Not, hey, are you a rapist? No, you know what the first thing that comes out of their mouth? What do you do for a living? What the hell do you do for a living? And this is what I'm talking about, folks. Modern-day feminism has turned the modern woman into a subliminal prostitute, and all you people that don't want to come to grips with that fact, for all you damn liberals that want to agitate my political persuasion because I'm bringing that authoritarian crap to light, you can kiss my derriere, and that's all there is to it. And that's all there is to it. And let me tell you, I know there's some conservative females out there that listen to my show, and I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I mean, we need more conservative females out there that understand that this deviant activity is not right. All right, being exposed to sexual perversion on primetime television is not right. I mean, dumping our children off on a boob tube or on a violent video game or on the internet to be a victim of Chris Hansen's To Catch a Predator is not damn right. I mean, that's all there is to it, folks. And I know people out here are you know, and of course, I got my phone blowing up out here, but I don't even want to answer them because it's the same liberals. I know your number. All right, so you can stop calling you liberals. All you're going to do is you're going to talk more agitation. You're going to say, well, you know what, you're a chauvinist. Well, you want me to answer them? I'll answer them. Watch. Hello, you're on the air. Hello. Well, there's two of you jerk nuts there. Hey, you're on the wrong line, jerk off. Tell your friend that it's you.
You're a dumbass.
How old are you kids? How old are you? Hey, I'm talking to you, boy. Hey. Yeah, I'm talking to you. How old are you?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, yeah, take your thumb out of your ass and start understanding that I was talking to you.
Hey, you are talking straight up shit. You're a fucking retard.
Hey, hold
faggot.
on. Stop deep-throating the microphone, okay? It's not your tricks, private parts.
Hey, bitch. Bitch.
Hey, stop deep-throating the microphone, all right? Take about 10 steps away from the microphone.
You're a chauvinist. You're a chauvinist.
How old are you? How old are you?
You're a fucking retard.
Okay, all right, that's about enough of that crap. But you see, folks, you noticed the feminine vernacular in that young man's voice. You heard that, right? I mean, he sounds like he's fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops, and he sounds like a young man. But you see, this is what I'm talking about, the feminization of America. All right, this is what it is, the feminization of America right here. This is public education at its best right here. Instead of actually trying to confront me with issues, instead of actually trying to put me down on an intellectual front, what do? They spew off the same crap that's regurgitated to them on the television set. That's what it is. And you know what? Forget about it. Forget about it. Hey, if they want to cause a little havoc out here, if it gets their rocks off, so to speak, they need to understand that their fruity asses are a part of the problem. They need to look at themselves in the mirror and understand that, you know what, I am kind of fruity. I do lack bass in my voice. I do have feminine physical features. And then they'll start understanding what I'm talking about, because you see, right now they want to reject it, folks. Right now they're probably looking at themselves in the mirror, and they realize that they're playing for the pink team right now. They realize that, you know, with all due respect, you know, they're a little fairyish, if you will. And you see, this is why they have to agitate. You see, because I am very critical about the younger generations, folks, and you can take it to test if you don't believe me. All right? I'd challenge you, go up to anyone under the age of 30, and you're going to see the same thing, all right? The same thing, what you heard here. You're going to hear feminine vernacular, feminine physical attributes in anyone under the age of 30, because they are the products of modern-day education. And look, if you're a person under the age of 30 and you don't fit this category, I apologize. But a group is defined by its majority. And the majority of the youth right now are nothing but a bunch of fruity-ass bastards, with all due respect. Okay? I mean, anybody who can prove me otherwise, I'd like for them to do so. I mean, you know, it's getting so damn fruity now that even the rap music, you know, I remember when rap music used to mean something. You were busting caps and drinking 4 O's and, you know, pimping hoes or whatever they were doing. Now, these idiots are turning into a bunch of fruity asses just like the rock stars. I mean, if you don't believe me, go turn it on MTV right now. Go turn it on MTV and don't even, you can put it on mute. Put the damn thing on mute and just look at the visual imagery that is coming through your damn television set, and it's fruity. I'm telling you, they're teaching our modern-day males into being some type of idiot that popped out of George Michael's butt crack or something. It's sick. It's ridiculous. Anyway, folks, I didn't really mean to get off on that tirade there, folks. It sickens me when I hear today's youth sound so damn ignorant and so damn fruity. I wouldn't have minded. I wouldn't have minded had that young man called me up and sounded off like he had a pair. Sounded off with a little bit of bass in his voice and said, you know what, Ghost, you're a damn bastard, and told me off with a pair of balls, for Christ's sake. But obviously, his pair of nuts is in his mommy's purse or something. I don't know. I'm sorry to be so vulgar, folks. We are on late night, so it's okay. But this is what I'm talking about, folks. I'm just sick of modern-day liberalism infecting everybody. Because that's exactly what it has done. It's infected everybody. Political correctness, feminism, all this ridiculous nonsense, it's affected everybody. I just don't understand. I just don't understand why nobody else is talking about these subject matters, you know? Like the gentleman that called up earlier, all right? The gentleman that called up earlier said that he heard a conservative show here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, and they were talking about gay rights in the military. I mean, with all due respect to the folks that were participating in that particular debate, because I don't know exactly what was said. I don't know. I don't care. But there are conservative issues a lot more prevalent on the debating table right now than gay rights in the military, with all due respect. All right? Let's talk about saving the American family, for Christ's sake. How about that? I mean, nobody wants to talk about this crap. Haven't you noticed that? Not one conservative, not one Republican blog, a radio show, a video blog, not one of these jaggalls are talking about the damn attempted extinction of the American family. And this is a westernized phenomenon, folks. Like I said, you can look in Australia, 75% divorce rate. Germany, 70% divorce rate. This is a Western phenomenon, and it's feminism and liberalism, and we got to stop it. Us true conservatives need to come together, folks, and you got to do your part. If you're a true conservative, the front lines are outside your door. So you got to go out, you got to participate in your city and state government, you got to find other conservatives, exchange ideas, exchange views, and understand that the only way we're ever going to take back this country is if we have strength in numbers. And that's why everybody needs to come together as a true conservative out there. You need to plaster the message. You need to plaster the message all over the internet. You need to plaster pro-family. You need to plaster moral integrity. You need to plaster the damn moral integrity of the conservative movement so that we can win the hearts and minds of everybody out here. And that's no BS, folks. I'm not saying this just to pull it out of my a-hole out here. I actually mean this crap. And I don't care if my blood pressure goes through the roof, folks. It needs to be done out here. You people need to stop falling asleep at the damn wheel and start understanding that we need to implement some conservative principle out here. And I know everybody out there that's listening to me on a consistent basis is saying, calm down, Ghost. Calm down. I know everybody out there is trying to tell me you need to calm down, Ghost. It's not worth getting your blood pressure all worked up. But let me tell you something. I don't give a rat's ass. All right? I don't give a rat's ass. All it comes down to is if the message is spread on this particular medium on the Blog Talk Radio Network, and that message is conservatism, folks. Conservatism. That's what it's about. And let me tell you something, all you long-haired liberal hippies, and we've already had a couple of you call up on the program this evening, you people can continue agitating. You can continue sticking a Kentucky Fried Chicken grease thumb up your ass and think that you're actually doing something for the liberal movement, but all you're doing is proving my point. That's all you're doing. You're proving my point that liberalism and feminism has infected the minds of everybody out here. So keep agitating. All you people sending me hate email, keep sending it. All right? I mean, better yet, I'd like for all of you, all right, that hate me, read my blogs. Keep up to date with my political persuasion. All right? Go to ipolitic.net/ghost. That's ipolitic.net/ghost. And keep up with my blog, folks, especially you conservatives out there. I want you conservatives to keep up with it. Because we need to come together. All right? And I'm going to describe on my blog, step by step, on how you, as a single person, can make a change in your community, as long as you put your mind to it and set yourself with conservative principle. It's called, well, you know what, just go to the blog, you'll find out. Oh, man, I'm telling you, I'm all worked up. Let me tell you, my stomach's kind of hurting. I'm probably inducing myself into a damn ulcer trying to sit here and attempt to facilitate debate about conservative subject matters, but I don't give a crap. All right? I don't give two rats' asses. And that's all there is to it. Anyway, folks, 646-652-4869. Give me a call right now if you got a pair. All right? By all means, please, if you happen to be a conservative and you're an anti-feminist, please take my poll on my website, ipolitic.net/ghost. We need more anti-feminists on there. When I had broadcasted the poll here on this broadcast, I unfortunately had all the feminists go to my website and blow the damn thing up with votes for feminism. And we just don't need any more of that crap. All right? We don't need any more of that crap. Screw feminism. Feminism can take a long walk off a short pier. And we're going to go to the phones again. Hello. Yeah, hold on a second. Hello.
Hey, Ghost.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Ghost, I called in. You picked up a couple times tonight. I know you're on for a long time. You got 18 minutes left here. This is moving forward, and thanks for just throwing it out there. I sure hope you don't get a coronary or stroke out or...
You know what? I don't give a rat's ass.
I know you don't. You know what? But the listeners out there, I think maybe they do. Maybe they do. Yeah, sure they do. You know what? There's a lot of us conservatives out there, and I see PV in the chat room. He wrote, "Bring on moving forward for God's sake." Thank you, PV. But this is your show, Ghost, and it's about what you're throwing out there, what you're pointing us at. You're pointing us at just being conservatives, and hey, I can respect that.
And that's what it should be about. It should be about conservative principles out here.
Yeah, so the only reason I'm calling in right now is just to tell you.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. And General Rachel, I see you're out there in the chat room throwing some things out, going to your website. I haven't had many interactions with General Rachel, but you know, I got my copy of the Declaration here in front of me. I keep it in my pocket. I carry it around with me in my jacket.
Absolutely.
In my breast pocket. And I look at it once in a while, and I listen to these conservative shows, and I pull it out. And if there's a lot of us that I get angry a lot. I get angry at all this liberal bullshit going on.
Absolutely.
But don't take it personal. Just understand it. Help educate them. Help educate these liberals.
These liberal losers out here. That's what you should call them. Liberal losers. Liberal long-haired losers.
We're going to win this argument. We are going to win the argument because, what it takes to raise a family, kids, boys, girls, moms, dads. What I've found out is that there's a lot of moms out there who are trying to raise kids, and they found out that, hey, without a dad, this is hard, and I thought I could have had it this way, and, well, it's going back to center. And there's a lot of, on the contrast to that, there's a lot of dads out there who are deadbeat dads. These guys can't raise a family if they tried.
I agree. And believe me, I agree, and I think that there should be something done about it.
Yeah, so if there's a deadbeat dad out there, well, the system should kick his ass and say, get back on the program. But on the other hand, if there's a deadbeat mom out there, it's the same thing. But
you see, in the new feminist world, it's not the same way.
Yeah.
For males and females, it's not the same way, and that's why I made the prognostication during I don't know if it was the April or May broadcast. I prognosticated that women this summer were going to coincidentally dump their kids off in a damn locked car with the windows rolled up in 100-degree weather. And these kids were going to die. You were going to see a lot of that this summer. And what's happened? You're seeing a lot of that. And are these women going to jail?
Hey, Ghost, can I say something?
Go right ahead.
There's a lot of really intelligent women out there that I would, put against any man intellectually. I really would. There's just some really brilliant women out there. And just as equally, there's a lot of brilliant men out there. But when it comes into issues of academia, and then it comes into issues of military, and then it comes into issues of tradition, things are all over the map right now. But I'll tell you what, if you're a woman who signs up to supporting a man who's out there supporting America and our values, well then stick with it.
Absolutely.
If you're a woman of higher education, then, don't mess things up for the men. We're only out there trying to do the right thing. And I'm seeing too many men failing right now because there's women out there who aren't supporting them. And I'm seeing too many women out there who make the wrong choices and get involved with men who, want something else.
I agree.
And, just do what's right for America, do what's right for values, and don't buy into this crap that these other countries have things in our best interest. They don't.
I'm not. Believe me.
And if there's someone out there who will corrupt America and destroy what we have going on, they're going to do it, and that's what we've been experiencing.
Hey, do you happen to have a show or anything on?
No, I'm just a listener.
You're just a listener?
Yeah, I'm moving forward, and I'm a BTR listener, and I really appreciate this venue because it's helped me through my transitions, what I've had going on as a BTR listener.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, not to take up your show, I'm going to hang up again, but I wanted to spell you Ghost because, you know what? Hey, go to the doc. Make sure you got no blood pressure going on, okay?
Well, he's already told me to stop doing this damn show, and I told him no way in hell.
All right. I hope General Rachel calls in.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in once again there, Moving.
Yes, sir. Bye.
All right. You have a good night. Well, folks, once again, we're hearing more and more conservatives call up and starting to understand that this is a liberal hellhole that we're living in. Unfortunately, what is happening out here is we've seen the hijacking of the Republican Party by the liberals. We're seeing a liberal infestation in public education. We're seeing we're seeing a lot of different things out here that just make every average, everyday people just want to puke up. It definitely makes me want to throw up, you know, nasty chicken grease and corn oil and cream of wheat with like 5-day-old cereal and stomach plasma. I mean, I feel like puking up right now. But let me tell you something. The only thing that keeps me optimistic is all the conservatives. And let me tell you something, folks. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them. As a matter of fact, because I've been promoting this new community that I've been promoting, because they're the only damn community that hasn't kicked me off their damn community site out here, because I've been kicked off of MySpace. I've been taken off the air several times here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, ipolitic.net. I strongly advise everyone to go out there and participate in that community. It's purely political out there. And the people that have been joining are nothing but conservatives. And I really appreciate if you're a conservative and you have joined this community, folks, because we need to come together as a force. We need to understand that this conservative fight goes a lot further than, you know, going out and protesting liberal ideology or liberal agendas or liberal style propaganda. I mean, we need to come together and organize ourselves, because that's the only way we're going to take back this country, if we, as conservative Americans, come together and are a force at the ballot box and make these politicians, these damn politicians out here, excuse me, I almost want to call them something bad because they're ridiculous, but these damn politicians out here are going to be scared to vote against the conservative principle as long as you got a unified force of conservatives willing to vote their ass out of office. And that's why I want conservatives to come together. I mean, just seriously. I mean, you need to plaster the message of saving the American family, shielding our children away from deviant activity and violent acts. We need to do whatever it takes to try to win the minds of everyone, because what we're doing, folks, is not the bad thing. I know these liberals want to tell you that you're bad because you're trying to bring back some sort of moral integrity back in America. I know these liberals want to tell you you're bad because you're trying to promote the family unit between a man and a woman and children out here. I know that they're going to tell you you're bad because you're supposedly oppressing people's freedom of speech by trying to shield children away from deviant activity, deviant music, deviant movies, deviant TV shows. And let me tell you something, folks, it's not the bad thing. It's actually the right thing to do. The absolute right thing to do. And I appreciate it. And, you know, somebody's asking me, why the hell did they kick me off of MySpace? Well, they kicked me off of MySpace because I put a player of this particular or not this particular broadcast, but the True Conservative Network on BTR. I put a player right there on the MySpace webpage there. And because I guess somebody in the higher echelon of corporate MySpace structure out there, or a part of the MySpace bureaucracy, they decided that what I was doing was either too vulgar, or folks, I do have a lot of feminists that listen to this show in the archive and sometimes live, folks, and they could have emailed the bejesus out of MySpace, and MySpace may have just taken me off just for good measure, just so they won't have to hear that crap anymore. But I guarantee you, folks, I got damn kicked off of MySpace because of my political persuasion. And it's not the first time, folks. I've been kicked off of a lot of different social networking sites and blog sites and other such web type of services, so to speak. And the reason is because I'm spreading conservative ideology, because I'm a true conservative. All right, I mean, that's all there is to it. I'm against feminism. I am unapologetic, anti-feminist, anti-liberal. You know? And you know, General Rachel is saying, well, I can't believe that they kicked you off given the crap that they allow on MySpace. And you know what, General Rachel, you're completely right. I mean, and that should make people think out there, all right? Because all I did was post what I'm posting now on ipolitic.net. I was posting that stuff on MySpace I had a player on there, and the whole 9 yards. I was a unapologetic anti-liberal, anti-feminist, and they kicked me off. They eliminated my damn account. They didn't give me no reason why. They just said, well, you know, some of the material may be deemed offensive. No kind of exact definition on why I was let off or my account was just eliminated. And yet, let me tell you, you can see scantily clad women shaking their asses on that damn website, on pictures, on movies. You can see deviant activity. You can see violence. You can see morons acting like jerk nuts on the damn camera out here just to get accolades from a couple of idiots commenting below the damn video. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. You need to understand the mentality that is behind censorship around a conservative. I mean, this is unbelievable. I never thought I'd live in a day and age where conservative was a bad word. We're preaching about the family and moral integrity. It's the bad thing to do. I just never thought I'd see the day, folks. And that's why I yank out all these people that are out here trying to, you know, pass themselves off as conservatives out here when they know damn well they're not conservative. These people are liberal in sheep's clothing. Okay? And let me tell you something. If you're a conservative, it doesn't matter what race you are, what gender you are. It just comes down to conservative principle, folks. You know? It just comes down to raising children. I mean, that's basically the essence of humanity. I talk about that every single time I come up on the broadcast here. Every time I come on the Blog Talk Radio Network, I try to come up on here and facilitate debate that the family is the right thing to do. It's the true essence of humanity. I challenge everyone who's out there to read any kind of literature written during oppressed times, during serfdom, during slavery. And you're going to hear that what kept these people going, what kept people together, what gave people hope, family. And you see, folks, when you don't have real family, what in the blue hell do you have? What, some materialistic widgets that aren't even yours, that are all on credit? I mean, it's stupid. And this is why I know for a fact conservatism will be victorious. We just have to be patient. I know that I scream my head off out here. I know that I sound like I'm going to break things out here, but I know that conservatism will rise once again. Because we are on the side of goodness. We are on the side of the right. We're not preaching anything that's lunacy out here. I mean, all we're preaching is pro-family, pro-children, pro-moral ethos. I mean, we don't feel that divorce is something that should be toyed with out here. I think that marriage is a sacred unity. And yet, this is what the liberals and the feminists have tried to do. They've tried to trivialize divorce. They've trivialized it like a game. Like, well, I don't really love this person, but because he's got himself a $20,000 ring in front of my face, I'm going to go ahead and just marry him, and I'll divorce him 6 months later if he doesn't pan out. That's woman liberation. That's the feminist movement out here. That's why families nowadays are now single parents. You know, that's why, you know, if you happen to have, if you're a child out here, or if you're a teenager, all right, if you are growing up with two parents that are actually your two parents, I mean, people look at you like you just farted on their best suit or something. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I just don't understand why nobody else talks about subject matters that affect our social interaction, our society. You know, everybody seems to embrace this crap. Everybody, you know, I even heard John Turncoat McCain say in a stump speech while he was running for the Republican candidacy, Republican nomination, so to speak. He was even saying that he wants to give single mothers, $5,000 to $8,000 a kid. $5,000 to $8,000 a kid. Now, let me just give you an idea of what the modern day woman is doing. And I'm not saying all women. There are plenty of women out there, and there are women in this chat room right now that are true conservative ladies, and I respect them. My hat is tipped to all of you because You are definitely patriots in this new America. Conservative women out here have to take all kinds of ridiculous liberal ridicule. I mean, whenever, I know what these conservative females are going through. Anytime they try to tell a group of friends out there, well, you know what, I'm homeschooling my children, and I'm going to teach them how to add and subtract, and I'm going to teach them how to interpret history and politics and join their government and that sort of thing, or participate in their government, people look at you cross-eyed. You know, I mean, if you're a conservative woman that's still with the same partner that you had your first and only children with, people look at you like, are you kidding me? Like it's some sort of an oddity, like it's an impossibility or some crap. So that's why, for all the conservative women that are listening out there, my hat goes off to you, my hat goes off to your family, and my hat goes off to your husbands that are out there requiring, or not requiring, but that are doing whatever it takes to give you and your children a good home, a good moral integrity. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate what you bring to the table. And I thank you once again. Anyway, I lost my train of thought there because let me tell you, those are true patriots that are overlooked. Conservative women out here. All right. I mean that's what's being overlooked. Women that actually have some integrity, moral integrity to themselves out there, who actually love their children, love their family. I mean, you females, I get tongue-tied, because you remind me of my wife, You remind me of somebody who understands that no matter what happens, no matter what the scholastic world, friendships and outside influences say, what matters is family, man. What matters is that you raise your children and they come back around to you. You notice that most parents, if you happen to talk to most parents, they usually talk about their children from afar, But oh yeah, well my child, he went out to this university and then found a job over 2,000 miles away, and he's never come back. He only comes back maybe every other Christmas. I mean, haven't you noticed that seems to be the average everyday family in America today? You want to know why? Because the kids want to get the hell away from them because they weren't true parents to begin with. And that's what I'm saying, folks. I have the ability to say that my children are around me, my grandchildren are around me, and I'm happy about it. All right? I'm happy that I raise good products of society out here that have moral integrity, that are out here raising their family, raising their children, going out there doing whatever it takes to instill that conservative value system amongst everybody out there. And it's unfortunate. All right, it's unfortunate that more people don't put that as a focal point, as a prominent point in their lives to try to, fulfill some sort of purity. I mean, in this such a wicked world, one can come back to their family and say, hey, this is something that can't be unpurified. But unfortunately, feminism and liberalism has infected that. And that's why I come up on here, folks. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I want to thank you for tuning in to another edition of True Conservative Radio. I know that it said that it was only going to be about an hour and a half. I extended it another 30 minutes because, let me tell you, folks, I've had a positive show here. I'm seeing a lot of conservatives in the chat room. A lot of conservatives called me up here in the onto the show here, and I appreciate your commentary. I appreciate what you're saying in the chat room. We need to come together, and the more of us come together as a group, the more influence we're going to have on this ridiculous liberal government. We'll be able to vote these power-hungry autocrats out of office if they are going against the conservative principle. And I think that the more and more people start abiding by this, the sooner we're going to get back America. The sooner that we're going to get back some moral integrity back into this country. And I know I keep saying moral integrity. I keep emphasizing the family. I keep emphasizing morality, but we need to do it. All right? I mean, this is how the liberals took over power, folks, repetitiveness. What do you think they're doing to your children in public education systems? They're just shoving repetitive nonsense down their holes until they're actually producing products of society that you're seeing out here in America. A bunch of fruity-ass men out here, a bunch of women that are sexually promiscuous, that have no moral integrity, an emphasis on single-parent families, an emphasis on multiple divorces. I mean, this is what we're creating out here. We're not putting emphasis on critical thinking. We're not putting emphasis. You notice that we send these kids to school, to public education, and yet public education doesn't teach them how to work or participate in the American government, the government that was made by the people, for the people. Haven't you noticed that? Haven't you noticed that none of these schools ever teach these children, or these high schoolers, or whatever you want to call them, they never teach them how to participate in this government so that they can properly run this government with rational mind and a reasonable thinking. As a matter of fact, they try to do whatever it takes to dissuade people from understanding what in the blue hell is going on out here in America. They try to dissuade people from saying, hey, look, we need to not put emphasis on our government. We need to put more emphasis on consumerism. We need to start keeping up with the Joneses out here. And this is why I'm so critical about our public education system. And I think No Compromise called up and said it. These children are actually being brought up and educated to take a damn test. I was hearing from some youngin', I probably a couple of months ago, I don't remember exactly the time, but they told me that the teacher said, if you don't know the answer to, or if you don't know what you're doing on these tests, just mark the letter C all the way down. Oh, what kind of advice is that? If you don't know the material, just mark C, 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 C. I mean, like a damn moron out here. What kind of teacher advises a student to do that? But she's right. We're teaching how to take a test out here. That's what we're doing. We're teaching how to take a test. The liberals and feminists that have hijacked the public education system have completely wiped out critical thinking in our public education system, folks. I mean, I always thought that school was there to help facilitate learning, to help children think outside of previous knowledge, so to speak, all right? I mean, look, the last generation already figured out so many things. We need to build on top of the last generation. That's the focus of school, for Christ's sake. But the focus of school now is just to go ahead and, paint up some pretty numbers taken by some ridiculous test. Multiple choice test, mind you. Are you kidding me? And I kid you not, folks, there was a youngin' that literally said to me that if the teacher emphasized, if you don't know the material on the test, if you are completely dumbfounded, just mark C, 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 C all the way down, and more than likely you could probably come up with a C or a D or just passing, so that it doesn't hurt the school district's little numbers for passing students in this ridiculous test. And this is what I'm telling you, folks. This is why our children are becoming a bunch of Nimrods out here. That's why America has fallen asleep at the wheel. This is our government, all right? That's why I suggest to everybody, if you're on the Internet, obviously you're on the Internet, download a copy of the Constitution and keep it in your pocket. And memorize it, because those are your unalienable rights that were given to you by our forefathers. And people just don't understand that that document accorded men unalienable rights that weren't given to the regular everyday man before that document. And now people are just completely oblivious about the Constitution. They're more worried about keeping up with the Joneses. Like I've said, man, take your damn Kentucky Fried Chicken grease thumb out of your colon pipe, all right, and stick it in your mouth and taste that bitter taste in your mouth, because that's exactly what you're doing to every conservative out here that's looking at your dumb ass. It's stupid. stupid, man. I'm sorry, folks, if I'm getting a little vulgar out here. But let me tell you something, folks. I mean, people need straight talk. People need to be shocked into believing that, hey, wait a minute, maybe the way I'm going is the wrong way. Maybe me believing, that I can be some sort of sexual heathen out here and just have multiple different sexual partners is the right thing to do. It's not the right thing to do, all right? It's not the right thing to do to trivialize marriage, all right? It's not the right thing to do to be some feminized, fruity-ass young man out here. If you happen to be a young man, all right, if you happen to be a young man out there that's listening into this program, and you're under the age of 30, and you're seeing the modern-day fashions nowadays, I don't know if you folks have watched the modern-day fashions of children under the age of 30 out here. I mean, if you rewind it about 30 years ago, the fashions of modern-day youth today look like fashions of San Francisco gay underworld in 1969, for Christ's sake, and that's no crap, all right? That's no BS, all right? The modern-day youthful fashions in today's America are a damn San Francisco 1969 gay throwback. I mean, haven't you noticed that the modern-day youthful attire out here is all skin tight? I mean, it's all tight, and it makes damn males look like they just popped out of the anal passage of Ricky Martin, for Christ's sake. I mean, this is no joke, folks. I know that some of this crap is funny. I know that, I try to make a little bit light of the damn thing, but it's not worth making light of. This is serious crap. Liberalism, feminism has infected our minds, folks. This has become acceptable. The social ills have become the social norm, and we've accepted it, folks. It's gone on long enough. It's gone on long enough, damn it. And I know folks are sitting up here saying, damn, Ghost, where the hell did you get all this energy? Well, I've got all this energy, folks, because I know for a fact that the feminist movement and the liberal establishment is winning. They are winning out here. I mean, I'm going to take a look at my little poll here for a second. Let me see what the numbers are since I broadcasted the poll on ipolitic.net. Oh, my God. All right, we got 47 votes for feminism, 4 against feminism. You see, folks, this is what I'm talking about, folks. This is what I'm talking about right here, and this is why I use this poll on the ipolitic.net/ghost website as a focal point of talking in this program. I mean, that should go to show you how much feminism has galvanized America, has galvanized the world for that matter. And don't equate feminism with women rights. Women have rights. All right, the suffrage movement at the turn of the 20th century accorded those women those rights, and rightfully so. The suffrage movement, they were patriots. I'm talking about this Gloria Steinem, hairy, armpitted, pro-muff-diving, ridiculous bulldog crap that just keeps shoved down everybody's hole out here. All right? I mean, it's disgusting. I'm sorry, if it's a little vulgar for the folks out there. I'm sorry, but it's so upsetting out here. It definitely makes me want to puke. And it should make you want to puke out here. And guys, too, they have a role to play. You guys have accepted this feminist crap. You people are facilitating. You men are facilitating this feminist crap. You're accepting it. You're acting like a fruity ass. You're gaining the feminine physical attributes, the feminine vernacular for what? So you can what? So what? For what exactly? So you could submit to feminism. So I'm not just saying it's women's fault either, folks. I mean, these men out here are accepting this crap. They're palading this crap. They're turning into a bunch of fruit bowls out here, and they seem to be happy about it. Well, I'm not happy about it, and let me tell you, if you're a real man, you shouldn't be happy about it either. All right? It's ridiculous. Exactly what Rachel and Tracy and everybody else is saying in this chat room, you need to man up, you bastard. You need to man up and grow yourself a pair and understand that you have a role to play out there in taking care of a family out there. You need to stop being pussified by this entitlement generation. You need to stop being pussified by the feminist movement and understand that you are a man. You need to go out there, even if you have to half break your damn back, go out there and support your damn family. I'm sick and tired of these men out here, having, pissy-ass work ethic, with all due respect. All right? You're a man, for Christ's sake. Go out there and get your nails dirty and do whatever it takes to take care of your family. And stop acting like some damn San Francisco 1969 gay throwback. Makes me sick. I just don't I'm pissed, I'm sorry if I'm using a couple of vulgarities. I'm sorry if I sound a little upset, if I sound a little angry out here. But rightfully so, folks, I am upset. And you should be upset too, folks. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. It's been a great show. We got 15 minutes left here. What keeps me going, and the reason that I have continued to do these shows on a frequent basis, is because I'm seeing more and more conservatives that are coming out and that are saying, you know what, we're not for the Republican Party. We're not for the Democratic Party. We're for conservative principles. We're for putting moral integrity back in America. I remember I suggested, and this was just a suggestion for debate as a show topic. I think it was my first show that I did on the Blog Talk Radio Network. I suggested since everybody is thinking that divorce is just some trivial thing, if everybody seems to think that adultery is just some scholastic, activity, why don't we put some damn punishments to these things, huh? Why don't we make it illegal to have a divorce? How about that? Maybe the sanctity of marriage would be instilled a little better that way, huh? How about if we make some sort of an offense, some sort of a penalty for doing adultery? I don't care if you're a man or a woman, both sides. I just think that we need to stop embracing this ridiculous sexual promiscuous activity that you see on the television, okay? That you see out in everyday life out here. I don't know if you've walked a mall or walked a consumeristic shopping mall out here, but look at all the teenage girls out there that are scantily clad out here. That are literally showing their asses and their woman parts before they even have a chance to blossom. Haven't you noticed that crap? This is what's infecting our minds, folks. This is why people are becoming deviants out here. Why do you think that Chris Hansen, that Dateline that Dateline NBC special, Chris Hansen to Catch a Predator, why do you think this moron goes from town to town and is able to find about 50 people every time he goes in that participate in trying to solicit sex from a minor over the internet? How come you're seeing such a prevalent phenomena happening? And it's not just one single profile. It's men that run the gambit. There are doctors and lawyers and scumbags and regular everyday schmoes and people that belong to Homeland Security, so on and so forth. Why are we having this? It's because of this sick society that we're living in, this emphasis of sexual promiscuousness, this emphasis of violent activity. It's infecting our minds. These images that are broadcast to us every single day on the television create an alternate perception of reality, folks. These games, these violent video games that are sick and demented and are violent, these things leave a alternate reality in your brain. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, folks. And you see, that's all conservatism is. I want to get that point just straight right off the bat. I want to let everybody know out there who's against conservatism, I want to let them know what conservative principles are. Conservative principles are simply put, we are pro-family, all right? And what does that mean? We believe that the family unit is a sacred unity that needs to be taken serious All right? Just because things aren't going, peachy keen, it doesn't mean that you can go off and hop on the pizza boy or hop on to the damn babysitter. It doesn't mean you can do that crap. You need to have, and especially these men out here, you need to man up. These women out here that are out here embracing this ridiculous notion of feminism out here, you yourself, you need to woman up yourself. We need to start taking responsibility. That's another thing conservatism is about, responsibility for one's actions out here. And everybody out here wants to blame everybody else but themselves for their ridiculous idiocy, their ridiculous buffoonery actions out here. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you for tuning in with me. We got 10 minutes left. I want to urge everyone out there, if you can, to join ipolitic.net. If you can, just sign up for an account. It's free, and the only reason I continue to plug that little internet political MySpace-like community is because, like I said in a previous program, the creator of that particular website assured me that he will not ban me because I am a blatant anti-feminist and an anti-liberal. Unlike MySpace, unlike being taken off the air in mid-broadcast via Blog Talk Radio, this is a legit political community, folks. And let me tell you, it doesn't really matter what your political ideology is. They're going to allow people to exercise their political conscience. And I think that I happened to come across this community by eBay. I was on eBay doing some searching for some consumeristic widgets, so to speak, and I came across this website. The young man was auctioning off the first membership, so to speak, and yours truly bought it because, well, at the time I got kicked off of MySpace and didn't really have a place to make a website. Yours truly is not really technologically inclined, so to speak. I don't know all this Java, HTML, all this crap, all right? And I don't want to know it. I'm too old to know that crap. So I try to use these venues out here that make it easy for one to amplify a message, make it easy for one to construct some sort of a makeshift website out here to get their point across. And I mean, I don't know what happened. I don't know if the stars were aligned in the sky perfectly or whatever the case might be. But I came across this ipolitic.net community, and let me tell you something, folks. You can do anything you want with this community. I'm blogging every day. I'm chatting with folks all the time in there, and it's purely political, man. That's what I love about it, because politics is a subject matter that rules our lives, and nobody seems to be taking it serious. And at the same time, another reason why I like ipolitic.net is because nobody under the age of 18 can join the damn thing. That's right, because none of these people under the age of 18, heck, under the age of 21, know their asses from their elbow anymore. So that's what I know. I keep asserting that particular website on my broadcast, folks. But the reason it has a spot in my heart is because freedom. I mean, they emphasize freedom of political conscience. You can't beat that. I mean, it seems like everywhere that is supposedly a venue for people to emphasize their views or their ideas or their thoughts, it seems like every time I join these communities, they want to kick me off like a jerk ass. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I'm not saying anything like anything out of lunacy out here. I'm not advocating any hate out here. I'm not advocating anything that's ridiculous. I'm just advocating freedom. I'm advocating conservatism. I'm advocating the family. It's ridiculous. Anyway, folks, we are 6 minutes and counting. I wanted to thank everybody for listening in. I want to give everybody a shout out that's in the chat room moving forward. Sir Malachi, General Rachel, Connie F, No Compromise, guests, a couple of guests that are in here. Thank you very much for listening in. I appreciate it, whether you're listening to me live or in the archive. I appreciate your patronage. The only reason I do this show, folks, is to spread the conservative message, and I strongly advise you all to do the same. If you happen to have a show or a video blog or a blog or if you patronize forums or whatever the case might be, go out there and spread the political message. Go out there and spread the conservative ideology, the conservative principles out here, so maybe it can absorb in the minds of the average, everyday liberal jerknut out here that's trying to shove all this immoral crap down our throats. And the only reason I'm suggesting that, folks, is because the liberals have done it, and they've been successful at it. I was critical in the beginning of this year when I first started off here on Blog Talk Radio. I was critical about the blogosphere. I thought it was a bunch of crap. I thought, why is anybody even taking this crap serious? But apparently they are. They are taking it serious. And what's happening is not only has it changed the minds of average, everyday laymen's this blogosphere, but it's actually given legitimacy to people that are actually have some sort of intellectual curiosity. And I don't understand it, folks, and I don't get it. We got 5 minutes left, and we're counting down, folks. Once again, I wanted to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Please bookmark my little profile at ipolitic.net/ghost. And if you happen to know anybody who happens to be a non-feminist or an anti-feminist, please tell them to vote on my little poll there. Because let me tell you something, I'm flabbergasted. I didn't think that I would get such an explosion of feminism, but then again, I am an anti-feminist. There's a lot of feminists that listen to me on the archive. As a matter of fact, there are blogs around the internet about yours truly calling me a chauvinist pig, calling me a lizard, calling me a wife beater, and every other name in the book. But let me tell you something, folks, that doesn't stop me from continuing to spread my political persuasion, my political ideology, and it shouldn't stop you from doing so either. And that's the beautiful part about this country, at least at this time, until they wither away the Constitution. But we still have the freedom of thought out here. We have the freedom of speech out here. Don't let anybody try to scare you into believing otherwise. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, everybody out there is going to make you feel lower than Roseanne Barr chasing after a greasy cheeseburger with her hands tied behind her back because you're a damn conservative, because you are pro-family, because you want to shield children from sexual deviant activity, or you want to emphasize conservative principles out here. People are going to make you feel like a moron. They're going to make you feel this low, and you shouldn't let them. All right? You shouldn't let them. And before we go here, there's 3 minutes left. I want you to tell every damn liberal, long-haired, bedwetting, tree-hugging hippie out there that tries to make you feel bad about being a conservative, you need to tell them to back off. Back off, because conservatism will rise again. I guarantee it, folks. If it's the damn last thing I do, I want everybody in the damn country to come together under conservatism to take back the moral integrity of America. All right? I mean, that's what we need to do out here. And you need to tell these liberals that you can continue on with your authoritarian crap, but we see right through you. We see right through you. You want to control the way we think. You want to control the way we feel. And we're not going to let you do it, folks. And let me tell you, the conservative movement is alive and well, and I guarantee that we will rise again. And if you see some bedwetting liberal trying to tell you you're bad for being a conservative, I don't even know what to tell you. I don't want to advocate any type of violence, but what I'd like to do sometimes whenever I see some stupid liberal trying to shove their ideology down my throat, I just want to stomp their teeth so far down their liberal throat that they'll be able to chew their own granola-ridden asses. And that's all there is to it. Anyway, folks, it's been a great show. Thanks, everybody, for listening in. I appreciate it. Please bookmark ipolitic.net/ghost. And by all means, if you're political, if you have a political message, if you're a damn liberal long hair, if you're a conservative, preferably a conservative, please help out, a politically driven community, ipolitic.net. That's ipolitic.net. And, just sign up for a free membership. there's voice chat rooms, there's blogs, there's forums. I want to hear more people. I want to change minds out here. I mean, if you think that your political ideology is better than mine, then get on the damn voice chat room that's on ipolitic.net, and I will make you look lower than a leprechaun's nutsack. I will make you look lower than a leprechaun's nutsack, and that's all there is to it. So by all means, folks, all right, keep freedom alive, keep the conservative movement alive, spread the conservative message all over the Internet. Do whatever you can in your local community to spread conservative principles out there. We're all counting on you. Everyone as a conservative community is counting on every conservative out there to spread the conservative message. Anyway, folks, once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in to True Conservative Radio out here. Please, by all means, sign up for a free membership at the first MySpace-like political community, ipolitic.net. It's the only community that has accepted yours truly right here without being banned like they banned me from MySpace or like they pull me off the air here on Blog Talk Radio Network. Please sign up for a free ipolitic.net membership. I'll see your ass in the chat rooms and make you look lower than a leprechaun's nutsack. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Long live the conservative movement and death to feminism, and I guarantee that the conservative movement will rise again. Thank you very much, folks. Sign up for a free membership at ipolitic.net and bookmark ipolitic.net/ghost.
A Napa guy knows the only way you'd give a freshly minted driver a brand new car is if he promises to never drive it. Instead, let him grind the gears and knock over the neighbor's mailbox in something a little more suited to his skill level. And with over 400,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, he can safely drive something that's nearly as old as he is. It's not perfect, but it's perfect for him. That's Napa know-how.